WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. State lawmakers are hashing out revenue and raises for teachers. The new budget year begins July 1st. Pay increases for teachers in public schools will see a bump. The question remains just how much. Now, the original proposal would have only granted two $500 raises over the next 2 years, but a second proposal from the House raised that to a pair of $2,000 raises. Lawmakers must also decide if they'll provide raises for at least some state, university, and community college employees. Some lawmakers hope to conclude 2019's regular session this week. The back and forth at the state capitol has some teachers watching the state legislature more closely, stuck between feeling like election year pawns and being optimistic about the possibility of better paychecks. They find themselves playing a waiting game as lawmakers continue their debate. Courtney Jackson has the latest.
Lawmakers are approving a new and higher revenue estimate today. Translation, they are officially giving the legislature more money to work with before this session wraps up. Education advocates hope that means approving a higher teacher pay raise.
These are our tax dollars that the people of Mississippi are paying into the system. And the people of Mississippi have made it very clear that they want us to put more money into public education and specifically into paying our teachers better.
As a recap, the Senate first proposed a $1,000 raise phased in over 2 years. House members voted to bump that up to $4,000. Since they couldn't agree on the amount, the bill got sent to conference.
We're all anxious about that number and wondering what's going to happen behind closed doors without our input.
With the bill getting sent to conference, it means 3 House and 3 Senate members will work on a compromise. But educators want to know who that will be.
The committee has been selected to make this decision, and that we don't even know who they are because our educators across the state are saying, who do we contact now? Let us know. We're ready. We want to be engaged, and we want to let them know how we feel.
Time may also be running out. Some lawmakers say they are shooting for ending the session this week. Even still, the conference report will have to get final approval from the other members.
If the conference report does not include an appropriate pay raise, legislators can send it back with instructions to come back with a $4,000 pay raise.
Courtney Jackson, WCBI News.
2 North Mississippi Family Dollar stores are among 143 set to close nationwide over the next 2 months. The company announced earlier plans to close 400 locations across the country before the end of 2019. Those 400 include the Caledonia and Pontotoc locations. Closing sales will start soon with plans to conclude the going out of business process by May 18th. Time now to toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson to grab a first look at our forecast. Hey there, Keith.
It's got a pretty nice sunset in Clay County. Look at that right there, the setting sun on the back edge of some of those showers and storms we had around the region today. That was the view in Sulligent, Alabama. So pretty nice this evening. Those showers and storms well off to our southeast. We have a little batch of clouds trying to spill on into north Mississippi and west Alabama. So partly to mostly cloudy for tonight. Temperatures are currently into the 50s and 60s, gradually cooling down, but the wind's still stirring things up right now. We're looking at some wind gusts over 15 miles per hour, sustained at about 5 to 20 out there. So a bit breezy. Lows tonight should get down into the 40s. Tomorrow, maybe a little bit of cloud cover in the morning, but turning sunny. It should be a pretty nice day. Winds from the northwest, still breezy, highs in the 60s. A little bit of a warming trend later this week, Scott, with more sun. More on that in just a few minutes.
It's been more than a month since an EF3 tornado ripped through the city of Columbus. The deadly tornado now leaves many residents without a place to stay. Thankfully, many churches and organizations, they're stepping in to help displaced residents find housing. Our Quentin Smith speaks with a local church that has its boots on the ground helping out. He joins us live in the studio with more. Hey, Quentin.
Hey, Scott. Ever since the storm hit, First United Methodist Church in Columbus has been out trying to find ways to help those in need. I spoke with an associate pastor at the church, and she says it's their mission to give back to a community that's lost so much.
If you ride throughout Columbus's north side, damaged homes like these are a familiar sight. The devastation now has the oldest church organization in Columbus stepping up to help residents restore what was lost.
For this church, we know that we want to be walking with people from the moment the storm hits to the moment that they're back in their homes.
First United Methodist Church is partnering with its International Disaster Relief Committee to help people who were displaced find housing. Associate Pastor Aislinn Kopp says they have case managers who meet with each individual to help them start the rebuilding process.
The case managers get to know the individual and know what their needs are and how they were impacted by this storm. And the case managers can help find housing. They can help direct you to organizations that can meet your specific needs.
In order for someone to apply for the housing assistance, they must first register with MEMA. Secondly, they must provide proof that they need financial assistance. Thirdly, if you're a renter, you must provide proof that you were renting the damaged property during the time of the tornado. And also, if you're a homeowner, you need proof of home ownership or insurance, or proof that your home was too old to be insured.
What better time for the church to be the church than when people are suffering? And we know that it is important to not just be the church for the people that worship inside these walls on Sunday mornings, but to be a church for our entire community.
So far, the church has helped 2 people settle into new homes. Kopp says, as long as there are people still in need of a place to stay, they're going to continue to be a lifeline that people in the community can count on.
This is part of our mission, is to be the hands and feet of Christ.
Now, Kopp says they will continue to be out in the community helping those who are displaced. If anyone is in need of housing or you know someone in need, just visit our website at wcbi.com. Scott?
Mississippi's congressional delegation is urging President Donald Trump to make a quick decision on a request for federal aid for flood and storm damaged areas. Now, the FEMA request says 43 of the state's 83 counties were impacted by tornadoes and the flooding in late February. Preliminary figures show more than 1,300 homes were damaged or destroyed. 126 businesses suffered damages, and 839 roads were either weakened or washed out by floodwaters. And that number is also expected to climb because 15 counties have still not completed damage assessments. Well, there's a lot of history that is along Columbus's north side, especially along 7th Avenue North. Tonight, some are expressing their worries about the history and the future of the Friendly City's north side.
What's up, Joseph? Joseph.
Johnny Hampton grew up on 7th Avenue North. No one's a stranger. It's that sense of community, he says, is fading away.
It was like north side. It was like Beale Street to us, Bourbon Street, and it was the pride that we took in the neighborhood.
Let's go back in time. During the Civil Rights era, 7th Avenue North was where African Americans felt safe.
That's all we had was 7th Avenue.
Thomas Lee Sr. says African Americans weren't allowed in downtown Columbus unless it was in Catfish Alley.
The main hub of where blacks entertained, went to the doctor, to the dentist.
The Joy Theater was Columbus's only black theater. The Queen City Hotel, another historical landmark.
B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland, all the gospel groups stayed there.
That piece of history now replaced with a historical marker and an empty lot.
Every time I pass through there and see that marker standing there, it's heartbreaking.
Since the February tornado, the fear of losing more history still remains.
You look back now that it's been totally destroyed. History gone.
My grandkids, they won't get a chance to experience the actual neighborhood, 7th Avenue.
Empty lots like this bring back happy memories, but also the reminder that what once was is now gone. A street that at one time where business was booming, Hampton says is now being neglected.
Don't let it die. Don't let us just walk up and down with empty lots,
Now, both Hampton and Lee are hopeful to see a budding future on the city's north side. Cleanup efforts in the area are still ongoing after the twister.
Live view in downtown Tupelo right now shows the flag whipping around in the breeze. We still have a bit of a breeze out there. Temperatures are expected to cool down into the 40s tonight. We have some pretty nice weather later this week. Details on that are next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Some nice weather on our Tuesday. We start out on a chilly note into the 40s by noon, pushing 60 in the afternoon, low to mid 60s, developing sun here. Some of you may be mostly sunny all day long. There could be some clouds that linger in the morning, but let's just say a mostly sunny type day for us. Temperatures in the mid 60s here in the Golden Triangle area and point south, lower 60s for you. Pontotoc, Houston, 62 in Tupelo. Winds from the northwest at about 10 to 15. West Alabama, 63, 64. A decent number there in Lamar County and also in Pickens County. Not too bad at all here for our Tuesday. A nice end to the week. I know tomorrow's only Tuesday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, lots of sun, some friendly clouds. A few more cool nights too. Tomorrow night we may get down into the mid 30s. Rain and storms possible on Saturday. We had some rain out there today, this morning and this afternoon. And speaking of this afternoon, look at that nice little rainbow right there near Steens. Hopefully you saw some of those. This is a live view. Columbus, Tupelo, Vernon, Durham's Pharmacy, Louisville, Mississippi, no issues whatsoever. Right now, we did see a little bit of activity. We have nothing out there right now, but a little bit. This is 3:30 near Louisville. A little bit of small hail. Notice that pink right there with these storms, these little swaths of pink right there, a little swaths of potential hail today. Some folks, especially to our southeast, getting in on some quarter to golf ball size hail and also some wind damage here, mainly in central Alabama as those storms got going. But that is on the way out. Some clouds, some clear skies right now, and high pressure is building on in. We've got 50s for current temperatures out there. The dew point, those numbers are dropping, and that means drier air is coming on in with those northerly breezes. So we're looking at a pretty nice day. Around 60 in Memphis, down in Meridian 66, 68 Mobile, 70 down in Macomb, southwestern Mississippi. Some clouds linger tonight. They'll go away tomorrow at some point, probably during the morning hours, and a lot of sun into our Wednesday right there. Thursday, mostly sunny. High pressure still in control. Friday, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. By the weekend, there's that frontal boundary. That front will get a little bit closer starting Friday. It should move through here sometime this weekend, probably Saturday. That's the best chance of rain at this point. Now, the front could hold up a little bit, so we're just hedging the bet Sunday into Monday. And just at first glance here, folks, I know we are deep into our spring severe weather season, but it doesn't look like that system Saturday will have a lot of potential to produce a lot of strong or severe weather. But that could change, but right now it doesn't look that bad. We'll watch it, though. 64 tomorrow, 69 Wednesday. 73 Thursday, 76 on Friday. Some chilly nights there, but we'll moderate things by the weekend. And as you can see right there, by the weekend, still warm temperatures on Saturday, low 70s, but it could be a little bit cooler Sunday into Monday behind that system. Plenty of days to watch this, but we do know some great weather's coming our way, Scott, for the next few days.
Things aren't getting any easier for Hill State Hoops. If they want to keep playing, they have to keep winning. We check in on the game plan coming up a little bit later in sports.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back. Spring is officially here, and many of us in Mississippi and Alabama are becoming more painfully aware of our sinuses. But what are they and what do they do? We find out more in tonight's Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Smith, part of the otolaryngology team at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Tonight I will be discussing sinusitis. The sinuses are paired, hollow air-filled spaces in the skull found in the cheekbones, forehead, and between the eyes. The sinuses are lined with mucosa and have mucus-secreting cells. The mucus traps germs and pollutants in the sinuses and drains through the sinus openings into the nasal cavity. This helps the sinuses to stay clean and healthy. Inflammation of the sinus lining can lead to swelling, which can block the sinus openings and prevent mucus drainage. The blockage can result in accumulation of mucus within the sinus cavities and sinus infections. In the majority of cases, sinusitis is considered an acute infection. When symptoms last longer than 3 months, it is considered chronic sinusitis and can greatly impact the quality of life of the patient. Symptoms of sinusitis include nasal congestion with thick yellow or green drainage, pressure or pain above the cheeks, forehead, or between the eyes, reduced sense of smell and taste, dental pain, sore throat, headache, and cough. Your doctor can usually diagnose acute sinusitis by noting your symptoms and performing a physical exam. If the symptoms are vague, your doctor may require an imaging test such as a CT scan. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist when we'll discuss a safe and effective treatment for chronic and recurrent sinusitis with balloon sinuplasty.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Hail State Hoops is back in the Sweet 16. A big thanks to its biggest player. More from the Bulldogs coming up next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel.
For the fourth straight year, Hail State Hoops is off to the Sweet 16. To put that into context as to what Hail State Hoops has done of late, Bulldogs women's basketball reached the Sweet 16 just once in the 33 years prior to that. This year's senior class winning 131 games to this point, including yesterday's round of 32 win over Clemson, that being more than MSU women's basketball over the entire 1990s. Head coach Vic Schaefer says all of the success can be taken for granted, but the ultimate goal of winning a championship continues to apply the pressure.
I think anybody understands how hard it is. I mean, it's so hard. I do think that, hey, when we lose a game, I mean, it's like the sky's falling around here. And you know what? I'd rather have it that way than the other. And I think, again, that's what makes it special here. Look, I feel the obligation, the pressure, because I know the investment that they make here at Mississippi State. And so, it's important to me that we continue to live this life that we've created. I didn't come here to not win championships. That's what I came here to do.
The Sweet 16 for the Portland Regional has been set. Mississippi State will take on Arizona State, and Oregon will take on South Dakota State after South Dakota State upset Syracuse. Game times for Portland have yet to be determined as of right now. Another big series win for the Diamond Dogs over Auburn this weekend, and one of the Bulldogs' top performers is getting a national nod. Sophomore Jordan Westberg named SEC Player of the Week for great performances against Arkansas Little Rock, Sanford, and Auburn. Westberg has multiple hits in 4 of his last 5 games and drove in 11 runs during that span. The infielder is batting a blistering .365 with 10 doubles and 25 RBIs already to this point in the season. Westberg had 30 all of his freshman year. Another big weekend series on the horizon for Westberg and the Bulldogs. Mississippi State will take on Mississippi Valley State at home on Tuesday for a midweek game. Valley coming off a sweep over Alcorn State this past weekend. And then on to the Thursday to Saturday series against 15th ranked LSU. The Tigers have been a thorn in the Bulldogs' side as Mississippi State has lost 6 of its last 7 meetings with the LSU Tigers. And as for the Ole Miss Rebels, they'll look to get back on the win column after suffering a series loss to Missouri this past weekend. The Rebels will take on Memphis for a rivalry midweeker. The meeting will be the 149th time in history Ole Miss sweeping Memphis in 2 games last year. Been a huge test for the Rebels this weekend on the road at 8th-ranked Arkansas. The Razorbacks sitting atop the SEC West here in the early season. Number 23, Ole Miss softball on the road, taking on South Carolina for the series finale. No score in the 4th. Not anymore. Brittany Finney gets all of this pitch, sending it for a ride to deep left center field. Adios, 2-run homer puts the Rebels on top. And I hope you enjoyed it, because that'd be about it. Rain, rain, go away. The weather ruining a night of softball. It was a bummer for the Rebels, who led 2-0 at that point in the 5th. The game would end with no result, canceled due to the rain, with no makeup date set. The series would end in a 1-1 tie. That's it for sports. Last look at your weather is next.
As promised, more sun for our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday too. Gradually warmer later this week, but pleasant temperatures in the near term. Still cool at night, especially tomorrow night. Another evening in the 30s probably. Our next best chance for rain and storms on Saturday.
I don't think anybody's complaining about this forecast.
And the complaint department remains closed, so no
we
avail
like
there.
that.
Yes.
Thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.